howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Every league, there tends to be a new divination card that has a fairly high degree of variance on it, and who asked is that divination card for patch 3.23. This is going to return a fractured weapon, but it's going to be a pretty special one, or at least potentially. It's going to be a 1 mod magic item. That 1 mod is going to be the Dictator's prefix, and that is going to be locked on. This is an excellent starting point for crafting physical damage weapons, as this is the highest tier of physical damage percent / accuracy hybrid. Once you've got that, it's a pretty deterministic crafting process from there. You can apply Deafening Essences of Contempt and then use an Ashling Slam. Once you do that, there's a reasonably good chance of getting both a high tier of flat fizz and also a high tier of percentage fizz to go with the high tier physical accuracy hybrid mod you've already got. That's going to be 3 excellent prefixes. Not perfect, we're not talking a merit tier item here, but we're talking something pretty strong. And then for the suffixes, the most important one is attack speed, and there's a number of ways to get that deterministically as well. So, very high payoff if you get a good physical damage weapon base. Of course, you could get completely hosed. You could get a mace from Act 5. That is the gamble. Each copy of this divination card cost me approximately 30 chaos at the time I was trading for them. A little bit more for some of them, a little bit less for others, but of the order, 540 chaos in total. I believe this card to be undervalued at the moment. Even though there is a bit of a risk on the base, there's plenty of potential to make something really quite good, although not perfect, out of a Turnin that gives you a decent base that's not exactly the one you want. Anyways, let's see what the first set gives us. And this is a Dictator's Opal Wand. This is probably one of the better bases for wand attacks if you're determined to make a wand attack build that deals physical damage, but I don't think many people are going to be interested in that. It's not the best base for that build, and it's also got a reasonably bad implicit for it. So I'm going to call this one a bit of a miss. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Let's try again. And this time we have gotten a Primeval Rapier. If this had been a different one of those one-handed foils, this could have been really good. As it is, this is okay, but it's only okay. It's not extraordinary. I believe it's the fancy foil. It's the one with the higher attack speed. So neither of these are smash hits, but this should give you a bit of a sense as to what you'll get from this div card. Now, where does this divination card come from? This is currently a little bit of an unsolved question. From some of the early large-scale stack deck turn-ins that have taken place during patch 3.23, this card appears to be being pulled out of stack decks about as often as the Apothecary, but we can't rule out that it could be up to 2.5 times as common as that. So pretty much the absolute most common this card could be would be comparable to the divination card Wealth and Power, and that divination card is pretty rare, about 3 times as common as the Apothecary. Alternatively, it could be the same rarity as the Apothecary, it could even be rarer. I think Grinding Gear Games have probably decided that they consider a fractured Dictator's weapon to be roughly equivalent to a tier 0 unique at the moment, in terms of how special it is. And even if the player base doesn't agree with this in terms of where the price ends up on this divination card, that's still the way they set it. They base it on how special they think the reward is, not necessarily upon how in demand it is. And it probably drops in the Forge of the Phoenix map, the Foundry map, the Silo map, and the Factory map. But that is absolutely not certain yet, and it's going to take a little while to lock down exactly where this card is dropping. In any case, hopefully you had a little bit of fun with this. That's the divination card Who Asked. May your Varlobs have interesting results.